Hi guys, welcome back to Just Railroading. My name's Charlie. Let's see what we got on the workbench today. Alright everybody, so right now I'm working on a 736 engine, and I decided to come out here and do a tutorial on how to install these aftermarket smoke units. Now the first thing you're going to want to do if you're thinking about putting one of these smoke units in is, first of all, you got to figure out what kind of a smoke unit you have. Now if you see how this silver piece right here, which is the element itself, how it's sitting inside of this die-cast container. Some of the earlier ones, it's backwards. This sits over the top of this. And I'm not 100% sure if these can be used on both. I don't think they can be. But that's one thing to look out for if you're thinking about doing one of these kits, because it may or may not work depending on, you know, your smoke unit type. So that being said, I know, you know, this one will fit this one just fine. So the first thing you're going to want to do is disconnect it from whatever it's hooked into. In this case it's going to be this E unit. Alright, so I've got it unhooked, everything's out of the way now, so it's just this we're looking at. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is pop this little cap out. These usually just pop right out without a lot of problems, usually.
Later that same evening.
Usually they pop right out. This one's giving me a little fight. Alright, I finally got that thing out of there. I just had to keep walking it around in a circle. Now you're going to be met with this nightmare, which is basically all the years of smoke fluid. Sometimes they'll fall right out, sometimes they'll be stuck, kind of like how this one is. It's stuck in place. There we go. That's just that old smoke unit stuff. That's all that is. You kind of want to clean this up best you can, try to get as much of that old powder out of there as possible. If this hole stopped up, you want to kind of open it up a little bit, blow it out. It should go all the way into the little puffer valve area. I think that's good enough. Now that we got that clean, now it's time to start working on our kit here. Now there's instructions that comes with these. If you buy a certain number, you'll get a little paper and it'll have a list of everything you need to do, how you need to do it, you know, stuff like that. It's very confusing, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. But basically, to start off, you've got a piece of heat shrink. This is your element right here. And you'll have two pads. You'll have this kind here, which I think that is kind of like the one I just took out, this fiberglass stuff. And then you'll have a big piece of heat shrink, which I honestly haven't found a use for. And then you'll have a spring, and what this spring will do is when you put it together, you'll drop that spring inside and that little dip. Basically it keeps the puffer from sticking, because they'll stick up, so that keeps it returning back down every time. And you'll have another fiber, which is this white stuff, this is the one I always use. I've never tried this one in there to see what the differences are. I've just always used this one. Then you'll also have this piece of fiberglass mesh, which this goes over your element. And then you got your plastic cap, and this is your new felt that makes the seal between the shell and the element. And that's pretty much what you should have in your kit. So you want to start off by putting your fiberglass mesh over your element. This one here looks kind of long, but I think it'll work just fine. And now you're gonna have to bend these because they need to stick through these holes. Now one side they want you to heat shrink it, which is this big hole side, because that's your positive. The other side's ground and it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little pair of needle nose pliers. And you're basically just going to want to bend it into a C shape. And you're just going to feed it through the holes, just like that. Okay. This one I'm just going to bend it down. Now we just got to heat shrink this side. Sometimes I skip this. You know, I might do that this time. Just skip it. Because I'm going to go ahead and solder this wire on. I always use the original wires because I like those. I'm going to go ahead and solder this wire on. We'll kind of get it to the same length, which is about right about probably there. And I always keep a little bit on here just in case I ever want to use this old element again. I can. But I don't think this one is even any good. Just in case, you don't never know. Okay, now we'll solder that together. Alright, got that soldered up. Now I'm just going to see if I can't fish this piece of heat shrink back over it, which I don't know that I'm going to be able to, because it's kind of a big chunk right there. So I think I'm just going to trim that off. Alright. If we have to, I've got some more heat shrink. Got some red over there. I'll use that if I can't get this to work. This is just what comes in the kit. You don't have to use it. That's like using it because it's free. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use some other heat shrink. Okay. Really what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to put this in there on this first and then put it up through the hole. But this is, to me, a little bit better because at the end of the day, it's doing the same thing it would have. But you're actually saving trouble because you don't have to do it again. And if it don't 100% go inside, it's fine. Okay. I'm going to heat gun this, and we'll start working on the ground side, and we'll put the thing in there. Alright, now that that's done, now you just got to choose what kind of insert you want. Like I said, I'm going to use this. So we're going to pop that in place. Now there is a certain way this goes. I'm thinking I'm going to put mine, let's see when it was on the thing. And you can put it at an angle to it, don't have to be with it. You just want to clear that hole with that. I think I'm going to put it this way. I don't know how much it's going to matter. I should have took note of where it was originally. Not that it wasn't that important. But that just slides in there, press fit. Alright. You've got that in there now. Now the next thing is trying to figure out how to ground it. Now the best thing to do would be to clean that up a little bit and try to get some solder to stick to it. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to scratch this up, try to get a gobble solder, and then lay this in there and solder it. So I'm going to work on that off camera because it takes a lot of time and a lot of heat, especially when you're using a soldering iron. Alright, well, there it is, soldered on. It's not quite right, but it's pretty close. So the next thing that I like to do is, when it comes to this pad here, I like to glue them on. That'll ensure it stays where it needs to. So let's get you a little bit of super glue. Just put you a couple drops just around the opening mainly. And that's why they want you to put heat shrink on that, so it doesn't make contact with the top piece. Alright, glue's kind of tacked up now, so that's pretty much it. It's pretty much done now. The only thing I have to do is solder it back to the E-unit and then reinstall it in the engine, and we'll be ready to go. So you guys will see this project next week. I just did this really fast because I knew I didn't have enough time to finish this today and upload it tonight and get it out tomorrow. So this will be next week's project. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. And you'll see it working next week. I can't show it right now, of course, but you'll see it puffing out next week. So if you want to see how good it works, just watch next week's video. So I hope you guys found this informative, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.